Imagine stepping into a world where pyramids soar like giants, where grand temples rise from the desert sands, and where the Nile River nurtures a civilization that lasted for thousands of years. Ancient Egypt is a land of mystery, majesty, and power. But this was not just the world of pharaohs and monuments, it was a dynamic and evolving empire at the crossroads of history, where the rise and fall of dynasties shaped the destiny of nations. Today, Egypt's story is as vibrant and complex as it was millennia ago. From the early rise of its first kings to its modern struggles, Egypt has been a cradle of civilization, a cultural epicenter, and an eternal symbol of human ingenuity. The history of Egypt is not simply the tale of pyramids or mummies, it is a rich and fascinating journey of triumph, tragedy, and rebirth. Let's embark on a voyage through time to uncover the history of Egypt, from its ancient beginnings to its modern-day complexities. In the heart of northeastern Africa, a civilization emerged along the fertile banks of the Nile River, where the earliest signs of human settlement began over 5,000 years ago. The rise of Egypt is often attributed to the unification of two regions, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, by the legendary king Narmer, or Menes. This monumental unification laid the groundwork for what would become one of the longest-lasting civilizations in history. The geography of Egypt played a pivotal role, with the Nile providing not only sustenance but also a route for trade and communication that would bind the country together for millennia. The Old Kingdom, 2686 to 2181 BCE, is synonymous with Egypt's architectural and cultural triumphs. It was during this time that the first pyramids were built, culminating in the majestic Great Pyramid of Giza, constructed for Pharaoh Khufu. These colossal structures were not mere tombs but a manifestation of divine authority and the eternal power of the pharaoh. The pharaohs, regarded as living gods, ruled with absolute power, and Egypt flourished under their reign. However, despite the grandeur, the Old Kingdom eventually fell into turmoil, leading to a period of disunity and instability. After the collapse of the Old Kingdom, Egypt entered the First Intermediate Period, a time marked by internal conflict and fragmentation. Yet, the Middle Kingdom, 2055 to 1650 BCE, brought with it a renaissance of centralized power and cultural achievement. Under Pharaoh Mentuhotep II, Egypt was reunified, and a new era of prosperity began. The Middle Kingdom saw a focus on internal development, with advancements in art, literature, and religion. The story of Sinuhe, an epic of exile and redemption, is a defining piece of this period's literature. However, Egypt's newfound strength was soon challenged by external invaders. The New Kingdom, 1550 to 1070 BCE, stands as Egypt's golden age, a time of unmatched wealth, territorial expansion, and military prowess. Pharaohs like Thutmose III, Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, and Ramses II reshaped the empire's fortunes, securing Egypt's borders through conquest and diplomacy. The military campaigns of Thutmose III, the religious revolution of Akhenaten, and the legendary monuments of Ramses II, including the temples of Abu Simbel, solidified Egypt's status as one of the ancient world's most powerful and influential empires. But with great power came internal challenges, and the seeds of Egypt's decline began to take root. Following the height of the New Kingdom, Egypt's power began to wane. The decline of the pharaoh's authority led to the fragmentation of the empire, and Egypt faced invasions from various foreign powers. The Libyans, Nubians, and the Assyrians all exerted influence over Egypt during the Third Intermediate Period, 1070 to 664 BCE. The most significant blow came in 525 BCE when the Persian Empire conquered Egypt, integrating it into their vast domain. Egypt's autonomy was further reduced under the Persians, and it seemed that the glory of the ancient Egyptian empire had become little more than a memory. In 332 BCE, Egypt experienced a dramatic shift in power with the arrival of Alexander the Great. After his death, Egypt became a part of the Hellenistic world, ruled by the Ptolemaic dynasty. This period marked a fusion of Egyptian and Greek cultures, most notably through the reign of Queen Cleopatra VII. Under the Ptolemies, Egypt experienced a cultural renaissance, with Alexandria becoming one of the greatest centers of learning and trade in the ancient world. However, the Ptolemaic dynasty ultimately fell to the expanding Roman Empire, and Egypt was absorbed as a Roman province in 30 BCE. With Egypt now part of the Roman Empire, it became a critical province known for its agricultural wealth, particularly its grain production, which fed the Roman Empire. Roman control, while initially stable, brought Egypt into the heart of Roman political struggles. As the Roman Empire split and eventually fell, Egypt became part of the Eastern Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire. Christianity spread rapidly throughout Egypt, changing its religious landscape forever. By the 7th century CE, Egypt was once again facing foreign domination, this time by Arab forces that would reshape its future. The 7th century marked another dramatic transformation for Egypt as the Islamic Caliphate expanded across the region. In 640 CE, Arab forces conquered Egypt, bringing it into the Islamic fold. The subsequent centuries saw Egypt become an integral part of the Islamic world, with Cairo emerging as a major cultural and religious center. During the medieval period, the Mamluks, a slave soldier dynasty, ruled Egypt, and while they preserved the country's Islamic identity, they also fostered a period of artistic and intellectual growth. Despite this, Egypt faced repeated challenges from the Crusaders, Mongols, and other regional powers. In the early 16th century, Egypt fell under the control of the Ottoman Empire, which established it as a provincial entity within the vast Ottoman realm. While the Ottomans allowed Egypt a degree of local autonomy, the region faced a gradual decline in economic and military power. During this period, the Mamluks continued to hold significant influence, though their control was increasingly limited. The rise of Muhammad Ali in the early 19th century brought a brief resurgence to Egypt, as he sought to modernize the country and reassert its independence from the Ottomans. His reforms, though impressive, were insufficient to restore Egypt to its former glory. The 20th century saw Egypt struggle for independence from colonial rule. British control over Egypt, particularly following the construction of the Suez Canal in 1869, sparked nationalistic movements. In 1952, the Egyptian Revolution led by Gamal Abdel Nasser overthrew the monarchy, establishing the modern Egyptian Republic. Nasser's pan-Arab vision and his efforts to modernize Egypt faced numerous challenges, including military defeats and economic difficulties. In recent decades, Egypt has gone through significant political upheaval, most notably the 2011 Egyptian Revolution, which ousted longtime leader Hosni Mubarak. Despite challenges, Egypt remains a key player in the Middle East, with its ancient heritage still echoing through its modern political landscape. The history of Egypt is one of power, struggle, and transformation. From the towering pyramids of the Old Kingdom to the bustling streets of modern Cairo, Egypt's story spans millennia of change. The grandeur of the ancient pharaohs still captivates the imagination, while the nation's modern identity continues to evolve amidst political and social challenges. The resilience and adaptability of Egypt through the ages ensure that its legacy, its art, culture, and influence will remain indelible in the story of human civilization.